If you want to change so badly, then why do you keep slipping back? You want to be healthier, wealthier, more disciplined. So you go to the gym, you put money aside, you try to wake up earlier. You tell yourself, this time I'll stick with it. But time passes and nothing changes. That's because you've been relying on the wrong approach. That's exactly what Atomic Habits by James Clear is about. Atomic Habits came out in 2018 and quietly became one of the most read books on behavior change ever written, translated into dozens of languages, read by millions of people chasing the exact same problem you're chasing right now. James Clear didn't set out to write another motivational book. He set out to explain, in plain, testable terms, why habits actually form, why they're so hard to break, and why most people who try to change fail for reasons that have nothing to do with willpower. In this video, we'll break down 5 key insights from the book: why bad habits feel effortless and good ones feel so hard to maintain, why you tend to quit right before progress actually shows up, how your actions compound quietly over time, for better or worse, why focusing on goals is a mistake, and why identity is the real driver of lasting change. Let's get started. Act 1. Why bad habits feel impossible to beat. You're standing there blowing out candles. It's your 30th birthday. People are smiling. Someone is filming. Everything feels normal. But then something hits you. You remember what you thought your life would look like by now. Healthier, fluent in another language, the author of one book. Today you're not unhappy, just not where you thought you'd be. And it's not like you haven't tried. You started going to the gym, you ate better for a while, you opened a blank document and tried to write. You told yourself you'd stay consistent, and at first you showed up, but nothing seemed to happen. Your body didn't really change. The page stayed mostly blank, so eventually you stopped. Not because you're lazy or incapable, but because it felt pointless. A quiet thought appears. If this was working, I would see something by now. Pause for a second and actually think about that. When progress stays invisible, motivation drops, and this is where most people quit. Not at the beginning, but right before things start working. Here's the misunderstanding underneath it. We expect effort and results to rise together, but with bad habits, the reward comes now and the cost comes later. With good habits, the cost comes now and the reward comes later. That delay is what breaks most people. So when the moment of choice arrives, you're not choosing for your future self. You're choosing for your present self, the one that wants comfort right now. That's why ordering fast food feels easier than cooking the healthy meal you planned. Act 2. The psychological wall that makes you give up. This gap between effort and reward isn't a personal failure. It's a predictable part of how change works. James Clear explains this with the plateau of latent potential. What you expect looks like a straight line. Effort in, results out. What actually happens feels very different. Progress appears flat for a long time, a plateau, while your actions accumulate quietly in the background. Inside that gap sits what Clear calls the valley of disappointment. You train consistently, you eat a little better, but the mirror looks the same and a familiar thought appears. At this pace, something should have changed by now. What's actually happening behind the scenes is your nervous system adapting, your muscles learning the movements. None of it visible yet. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Picture an ice cube in a room cooled to minus 15 degrees. You slowly raise the temperature. Minus 14, minus 10, minus 5, minus 1. Nothing changes. The ice cube looks exactly the same. Then the room reaches 0, and suddenly it starts to melt. That final degree didn't cause the change by itself. It only revealed all the heat that had already been added. The work was never wasted. It was stored. Most people quit on the plateau. It's like quitting at minus 1. Small changes often appear to make no difference until you cross a critical threshold, and the biggest breakthroughs are usually just the point where many small actions finally add up. Act 3. When actions compound. Once you understand how progress really works, the question changes. It's no longer, am I seeing results yet? It becomes, am I moving in the right direction? This is the moment it actually clicks. James Clear makes an important distinction. Goals describe a destination, habits determine direction. You can aim north, but if your habits move you south, your real direction is south, and over time, direction always wins. What you see today isn't the result of what you did today. It's the result of what you've been doing consistently. Your net worth reflects your financial habits. Your health reflects your eating and movement habits. Your knowledge reflects your learning habits. As James Clear puts it, time magnifies the margin between success and failure. He calls this the 1% rule. Getting slightly better each day doesn't feel impressive, but improving by just 1% every day for a year makes you nearly 37 times better. Do the opposite, and a 1% drop each day leads to steady decline. What matters isn't how successful you feel right now. What matters is whether your habits are pointing you toward the future you want. Act 4. Why goals fail to create change. Most people try to create change through goals. I want to lose weight. I want to write a book. But goals create a fragile system with only two endings, success or failure. If you fail, you feel like you failed as a person. If you succeed, the pressure disappears, motivation fades, and old routines return. Here's the part that changes everything. Behavior change happens in layers. Outcomes, where goals sit, systems, the habits you follow every day, and identity, how you see yourself. As James Clear puts it, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Think about learning a language. The goal is fluency, but the goal doesn't teach you a single word. The system does. 10 new words a day, 5 minutes of listening, repeated tomorrow. But even a good system can fail if you ignore identity. As Clear explains, the most effective way to change your habits is to focus not on what you want to achieve, but on who you wish to become. If you focus on outcomes, you say, I want to read 1 book a week. Compare that to, I am a reader. That's not a goal. That's an identity. When behavior is tied to identity, it stops being optional. As James Clear puts it, every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Act 5. How to build habits that actually stick. Repetition doesn't just change identity, it physically changes your brain, strengthening the same neural pathway each time it fires until the behavior runs on autopilot. Every habit follows a loop. A cue triggers a craving, the craving leads to a response, and the response delivers a reward. James Clear turns this into 4 laws. Here's what almost nobody tells you. Disciplined people don't resist temptation more, they encounter it less, because as Clear puts it, environment is the invisible hand that shapes human behavior. Make it obvious by using habit stacking. After I prepare my morning coffee, I will stretch for 5 minutes. Make it attractive, because as Clear explains, dopamine spikes before you act, not after. Pair a habit you need to do with one you want to do, or borrow attraction from groups where the behavior is already normal. The way Nerd Fitness made exercise feel like something for people like them, not against them. Make it easy with the 2-minute rule. Scale any new habit down until it takes less than 2 minutes, because habits form through frequency, not intensity, and make it satisfying. As Clear puts it, what is immediately rewarded is repeated, what is immediately punished is avoided. One couple made saving money satisfying by transferring every dollar they didn't spend eating out into an account labeled Trip to Europe, watching the reward grow in real time. And when you slip, remember Clear's rule? Never miss twice. So the plateau you were standing on wasn't proof that nothing was working. It was proof that something was, quietly, underneath the surface, waiting for you to keep going long enough to see it. Change was never about finding more willpower. It was about becoming, one small vote at a time, the person who already does this. And this is just one piece of what actually separates the people who change from the people who don't. If you want the next breakdown, maybe Can't Hurt Me, maybe The Power of Habit, tell me which one below, and I'll break it down next.